This is the PVC pipe or broomstick mobility and cervical training drill. This is a 5-foot long PVC pipe. If you come to the office, you will get one for free. If you're at home, you can use a broomstick. You can also use a band, but I'm going to show you the broomstick and then show you the band variation after this. One of the reasons I like to use sort of just a nice sort of stiff object is because you can be consistent with where your hand placement is. You start with the stick just above your head, bring it up about an inch, and then move your hands out so that your elbows are nice and straight. You bring the stick down to your belly. You're going to come up and over your head, making sure that you allow your shoulders to come up and over and go back as far as you can. If you stop here before you feel you need to kind of adjust, that's totally fine. This is not meant to be, it's not a challenge to see how quickly you can get down to your back, right? So that's the front, right? So this would look something like this, and I'll just sort of stop halfway. You can see my shoulders just kind of going up as they go over and then relaxing down. I'm never ever pulling my shoulder blades back and down. Right? From the side, here's where we can get a look at what happens to your head, your cervical spine. When you bring your anything up and over your head, the tendency is to shoot your head forward, especially if it's a challenge for your shoulder and thoracic spine. So what I ask people to do is to pretend that they're just sort of standing with their head back on a wall, and as the pressure increases to move your head forward, you want to counter that with an increased pressure to keep your head back. So I would never tell people to do the whole double chin thing as a preparatory sort of position, but I would say you can adapt to the amount of load that's happening through your neck, which is all part of the lesson, right? So take this nice and slow, going up, back. If I start to feel, oh, here comes my head forward is a little bit good, I'll just do a little correction, and then I'll come back and finish up to my range. You want to keep your abdominals active during this, only because as you go back, again, if there is some stiffness in your shoulder or your upper back, you will have a tendency to arch your lower back just to get around. And in that case, again, we want to focus this on the sort of the upper trunk and head and neck. One more thing before I end. I typically give this after one set of this. Keep your hands right where they are, and then you want to just come in about an inch, right? So if you've done about one set and you feel like you can get all the way back down to your lower back, then you're ready to move a little bit closer. So just move about 1 inch as you go back and do the best as you can. No need to try and reach your back on the first shot. Really allow yourself to get to that point of resistance and then come back. What you can do with a band, if you do have a band, just make sure it's quite a thick band. You can't really do this with kind of a loose band. If it's quite thick, it'll give you some resistance so that you can't just sort of pull it open to an easy place. But again, if you have a thick band, like these are Draper pull-up bands, so I would grab this one at the end. If I were to only have a very minimal amount of tension, this is where I would be, right? So this is actually quite hard for me and for a lot of other people. I would need to open up my arms just a little bit. Again, I like the stiff PVC pipe because I can always have my hands in the same place. This lends itself to sort of different positions in your hand, but if it's all you got, great. You want to continue to keep in mind your head position, so don't let that head come forward as you do that, and don't do an asymmetrical loop around it.